Hello and welcome back to GGTV, and more specifically, welcome back once again to our annual trip to the south of France. You may have noticed already that I have not brought my Carrera T with me this year, which is now newly gold. There is a video on that on the channel if you fancy going and watching that. However, I have brought my Aston Martin with me. We are back in the villa that we stay in every single year, and the driveway once again is full. So I'm going to take you around the drive. Hold on a minute. You okay, mate? What are you doing? What? What's going on here?
Lot, lad.
What are you doing? Chaos! Okay, so for watch fans on my channel, there's going to be content with these three knocking around, but more specifically, this little guy very, very soon. You will have noticed this has been on my wrist for the entire trip. Instagram and whatnot, so there'll be more on that. So anyway, mate, you carry on doing that, and I'm going to carry on doing my intro. Well, okay. Anyway then, without those silly interruptions, it's time to have a little look around the cars, and then we're going to go driving. I can't wait to get that up in the hills. The V8 with the manual gearbox, the noise of it bouncing off the mountain walls. This is going to be a good one. This isn't going to be drivel like a lot of my videos. This will be a good one. So let's have a little look around first and foremost, and then we can get going. First and foremost, then we have Archie's GT3 RS over there. You've seen this car millions of times on his channel already, and it's got his new exhaust, which is actually starting to turn a bit blue with the heat, which is super cool. Johnny Cocker Racing, it's one of his exhausts on there, so really, really cool. That's got nothing to do with us, that's just in the villa anyway, but that is absolute mayhem, that thing. Sadly, we couldn't find the key, so we couldn't take it out. I don't think the owner of the villa would be too happy with that, but we tried anyway. The Aston is here, and there'll be lots of Aston content coming today. We have this Shelby Mustang as well. This sounds absolutely insane. This will be coming out with us as well. This is owned by a good friend, Mo. There we go, there's a manual gearbox in there. But this thing in your rear view mirror is carnage. So Mo will be out today in that. Aaron, Mr. Emoji Fresh, is here in his GT4. He's over there, actually, you just saw him ruining my intro, holding some watches. Aaron, don't lose that watch, please. Thank you. We've got a GT2 RS as well, and this car actually came over here with about 60 miles on the clock. Absolutely amazing to see one of these hooning around on the roads. Unbelievable car. Coming through then, we've got my brother, JE, his brand new Turbo S, and probably the best spec I've ever seen. Glistening here in the sun, gloss black wheels, ceramics, yellow seat belts, carbon buckets, carbon steering wheel in there. Absolutely amazing spec. Love, love, love this car, and the noise this thing makes as well. There'll be a separate video on it because he's tuned the exhaust and made it noisier and whatever. There's more cars here. There's a very Porsche themed trip actually. I think people are realizing that Porsche just make the best cars. Arguably, argue in the comments. So we've got a Targa 4 GTS there, probably one of the best cars on the trip for this journey. We have a Speciale here with...
I'm churning.
We're all churning. So Joe's is back on the channel. Chaos. Yeah, we like that. Joe's is back on the channel. You remember the video with him collecting this car. It's now in the south of France. How are you finding it, sir?
It's very good. Put it in race mode.
Put it.
It's playful.
Put it in race mode.
Put it in race mode, and then we're off the hill. We're on the on the roof.
You've been enjoying yourself in this, actually. You've actually, yeah. So look out for some drive-bys of this car coming past because it sounds amazing, just like that. Right. Anyway, enough of you, mate. We're going around the other cars. Okay. We'll come back to you later. Okay. So yeah, really, really cool to see the Speciale out being used as it was intended. Probably my favourite car on the trip, other than my Aston, obviously. Lol. We've got the Redline's Hurricane Avio here with absolutely on cue. Dean Redline here, ladies and gentlemen.
How are you doing?
Yeah, how are you doing? More importantly, very good. Yeah. So this is one of 250 cars in the world.
It is indeed. Yeah, it's a nice car, nice example.
And that is actually satin paint. It's got full PPF all over it, but the paint is actually satin blue. So super unique car, and I don't think I've seen another one of these on the road. And that is hooning around the hills here. We've got Richard Wilson photography over here. Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well, mate. You?
Yeah, very good. You're on camera. Please do not say it. No, I was going to swear. Chaos. We've got 888 MFs, Boxster Spider. Do you have to do that? You nearly fell on the bonnet there. Go away. He's actually been a lovely host this entire trip.
You've done good bolognese.
Very good bolognese. 888 Bolognese. It's your new Instagram name.
No, 888 food.
888 food.
Underscore food.
888 underscore food. There we go.
You gonna drive this today?
Yeah, I'll have a go in there, mate. I'm gonna billy it. Great car, absolutely great car, and I'm actually excited because I ordered one of these many moons ago. Instead of it came in GT4, but they gave me a GT4 instead, which I churned. But that is the car that I wanted, and Boxster Spider is an amazing, amazing car. On the theme of Boxster Spiders then, there is another one. Not down here. We have an Audi R8 V10 Plus, very, very nice, blacked out spec, carbon everywhere, every sort of carbon box ticked, carbon on the sides, carbon mirrors, and there's a stripe on there. Where is he? Oh, he's not here, I was going to abuse him. I was going to tell him off. We have a GT3 in signal yellow, isn't it? Yeah, correct. Yeah, perfect. And this car, those eagle-eyed viewers will remember, was on our trip last year. I'll leave his Instagram name on the screen. but unbelievable. The best spec. It stole the show last year, and it's really, really good to see it again. Looks so cool. That is the best colour. I actually wanted to change my Carrera T into single yellow, but it was already yellow, so I couldn't. But that's my favourite colour anyway. And then, last but not least, Boxster Spider. I said before that I love Boxster Spiders, and this, oh, it's got carbon buckets as well. These are great. If you've got about 40, 50 grand and you want to buy a car that's just great, this is it. Buy one of these and they're going to go up in value, the whole value. They're absolutely unbelievable. I love Boxster Spiders, and it's super cool to see this on the trip. Really nice spec as well. Gloss black wheels. Anyway, we will be meeting more people out on the road today, but this is just who's in our villa at the moment. So I think then that is quite enough waffle. I think it's time to go driving. Welcome then to my Aston Martin Vantage AMR, being driven, I was going to say properly, but being driven how it's supposed to be driven here in the south of France. You currently join me then on my way up to the Col de Turini. In front of me then I've got a signal yellow GT3. In front of that is a 458 Speciale. Behind that is the Boxster Spider. Behind that I can see is JE in his Turbo S. We're currently in convoy. Archie's around somewhere. I don't know where he is, at the back somewhere buying sweets. We're in convoy up to find a driving road then. Some of the roads on the way to the driving road have been good, but it's slowed down slightly now. I don't quite know what's going on, but it's just amazing to have this thing out here on these roads. I'm very pleased with my choice so far. Oh, here we go. It sounds unbelievable. Oh my God. So then, already I can tell I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this car out here. It's so much more nimble than you think it would be. You think, oh, Aston, big and heavy. Wrong. Goodness me, I'm gonna have to do that window up, I think. Too noisy, it's chaos. So as you all know, I've had the exhaust done in this car. Ooh, nearly. Got very hairy there. So as you all know, I've had the exhaust done in this car. Down to first, going around this rather tight hairpin here. Back on the power. Chaos! I've had the exhaust done, so it's a lot louder than a stock Vantage AMR. Christ. So we're going up a rather tight, twisty section now. It's all hands on deck in here, to be honest. Christ! Tugging away at the wheel over here. I've got this signal yellow GT3 in front of me. He's trying to get away. Anyway, we're not even at the driving road yet, and I'm getting very carried away. What I was saying was I've had the exhaust done, so under full load it goes straight through basically. It sounds like a Spitfire, but just cruising around normally, like kind of now, I can speak nicely, I can pull off, you can still hear me. It's a very civilized drive, but then when you're absolutely on it, it just goes straight through and sounds like literally a Spitfire's crashing into your house. It's chaos. So I'm going to try and get to this driving road in one piece. We're going to pull over and just wait for everyone. Join me in a minute. We have stopped off then at the kind of the start of our drive. This is actually part of the Monte Carlo rally, and it seems a befitting place to start our little journey. You may realise that I've got some new sunglasses on here, some very snazzy sunglasses. These are actually Snapchat sunglasses, and they will capture POV whilst driving, which is all very good fun. So stay tuned on my Instagram stories and my Snapchat for some of the baboonery that's going on from here. And yeah, I think we're just waiting for, are we waiting for Archie?
We're waiting for Archie.
Yeah, Archie. Do you know where he is? Do you know what he's doing?
From Cloud9? Couple of hours. Cuckoo.
What's he doing?
He's just not well, is he?
No, he's not. So catch up in a second when Archie eventually decides to grace us with his presence. Here we go then. Try a bit of heel and toe there. Ah! Oh boy. Right, that was a very spirited start. I want to touch on though, before I start going hell for leather, I did this trip exactly 1 year ago with my 911 Carrera T. Now that car, manual gearbox, about 370 brake horsepower, so about 40-50 brake horsepower down on the Aston. Lighter car, four-wheel steer, ceramic brakes, not steel brakes. I think the ones in this are steel. I know that sounds useless. And a slightly narrower car, I believe. It felt a lot smaller anyway. Fixed buckets, same as this car. Carbon everywhere, but turbocharged as well, not naturally aspirated. It's a flat 6 as opposed to a V8, and there's a flat 6 twin turbo, of course. So a lot more. Shut up! So two totally different cars, and I last year said that Carrera T was the best car for these roads. Was absolutely, you couldn't have picked a better car. It was perfect, but especially the four-wheel steer and the PASM suspension, everything was just amazing. It was narrow body, so it didn't feel like a big, clumpy sort of brick driving around. It was unbelievable, and I thought, how can I top that this year? What car can I bring to these roads that I'm going to enjoy more than that car? It was a big ask, and I thought, I can't bring the Carrera T again. I have to bring something different. This is YouTube. So I've left it at home with its new gold paint job. So I thought I'll bring the Aston. It's manual. It's got around 430 brakes, so it's probably around the right power for these roads, because you don't want, and I know at this point you're all going to be shouting SV at me. I am not bringing my SV to the Col de Turini. It's completely the wrong car for completely the wrong roads. There was absolutely no chance I was ever going to bring the SV over here for these roads. It's just not going to be enjoyable. It's 750 brake. It's 2 meters wide, it's got zero visibility, it's super low ground clearance, it's just hell on these roads. It just wouldn't work well. So that is why the SV's not come. F12, again, Joseph actually brought his F12 with him last year, my old F12 actually, and that proved to be, whilst a lot of fun, it proved to be a hell of a lot of car for these roads as well. 741 brake horsepower through the back wheels, huge long bonnet, wide car. I don't know whether that's the best choice for these roads either. Amazing, amazing car, but for the tight and twisties, I just think it's too much. If you get on the power too early out of one of the switchbacks, you've absolutely had it if you don't know what you're doing, and that is very definitely me. So the F12 was out of the running as well. I'd also recently just driven that to Edinburgh, so I've spent a lot of seat time in the F12, so I thought, no F12. 996 was a contender for the trip. I thought, why not bring that along? But again, I think it's a bit too, dare I say, old maybe? I don't want anything going wrong out here, and I'm not sure how the brakes will cope with the constant hammering, because it's very, very brake heavy. these roads are exceptionally brake heavy. So again, the 996's got old Porsche Sport steel brakes. They're about 17 years old. They do work well, but I don't want to be hammering them all day. So really, there was only one choice. The Jimny's obviously out of the running. The Golf GTI is out of the running, although that actually would be a good laugh. The i3S is out of the running because it'd probably run out of charge at the end of the day. We're doing a few hundred miles a day. Oh, I think we're off. Here we go then. Jesus Christ. Nearly just had a shunt. Nearly. One thing I would say at this point, if you are coming over here, do drive safely. Don't be a knobhead. Don't copy me. So yeah, the Aston was the only choice, and what a choice it was. It is unbelievable. So then, how does this match up to the Carrera T from last year then? Because as I say, I thought to myself, how can you beat that car around these roads? Well then, first difference you immediately notice is, obviously, that noise. That V8 just flapping away back there, sounds like a Spitfire. Second difference then, the steering. The steering in this is a lot heavier. You have to wrestle with this car. Down into first, and you really are absolutely wrestling with this thing. Whoa! Christ. It's a bit more of a man's car. The gear shifts then in the Carrera T, they are a lot more precise. There's a shorter throw on the gear knob. And this has got a tendency to kick the back out and lose traction. Chaos. I don't know what's going on at this point. As I was saying, the back on this car, it's a lot more slippy. It tends to kick out the back a lot more, probably because there's about 40 brake horsepower more going through the back wheels. There isn't as much torque low down because of the lack of turbos. You really have to rev it to get the most out of this thing. Big heel and toe, chaos! Ah! The thing is about these roads as well, you've got to be so on it. You've got to behave yourself. You've got to really be thinking, oh God, he's missed the turning. As I was saying, he's just gone straight on through a switchback. You've got to be on it on these roads because the turns can just tighten up on you and you can end up facing literally down a mountain. Ah! Ooh, do you hear that backfire? I've got JE behind me in the Turbo S. It's about 500, 600 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive. There's absolutely no way I'm going to... Oh! You just don't know when it's going to turn into a switchback or not. It's chaos. Hill and toe, down into first. Using every bit of concentration and also trying to film a video is just, it's going to be a death. At least it'll be televised if I do die on it. I am now the lead car. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Down to first. Bit of hill and toe again. Bit of slide. Traction. Chaos. I can't shake that Turbo S. It's so fast. And finally, down into first, heel and toe, up again. Chaos. One thing I would say about the Carrera T as well, the brakes on that T, I had the PCCBs, they are unbelievable brakes. The brakes on this, they're faring well to be fair. No sponginess just yet, but the evening is young. The other thing with the T as well, because it was four-wheel steer, you could really get around those switchbacks without losing your lane or anything. You could just throw it in and it would turn on a dime almost. Whoa, almost lost it there. We've got Joseph up in front of me actually, we've just found him. He is absolutely going for it. I think he's got traction off in that Speciale, so he is a very, very brave man indeed. We've got Tom Turner in the GT3, I've just caught a glimpse of him. It is actual chaos. This Aston is so much more of a handful, but so much more fun, dare I say it, than the Carrera T. What a car. Oh, that was a tight one. Very tight here. We've got barriers though. Whoa! If you're not very good at heel and toe, don't do it on tight, twisty mountain roads. I can't get away from JE in that bloody Turbo S. I can't get rid of him. Go away. I can't shake him. Ooh. Right guys, I'm going to concentrate on my driving and I'll catch up with you in 5 minutes. Made it to the first stop, the first stage of, I was about to call it a rally, it's not a rally. That was absolute chaos. My adrenaline's pumping and just look at that down there. Just look at the view sat there.
I need to say something.
What? Go on.
You can drive.
There we go. I can't really.
You can drive. No, you can.
No. But do you know what?
You were in front of me and you were going around those hairpins fast.
Ah, yeah. It's the car move. It's not a heavy Aston, mate. It's a very good one. No, it is. Thank you very much. I think people that are good at driving don't say they're good at driving. I am actually terrible. I don't know what he just saw, but I am actually useless. But this view, I mean, it's just phenomenal. Sometimes you've got to pinch yourself and you just got to think, how the hell am I here with a bunch of friends in these amazing cars doing this? It's absolutely ridiculous. I guess partly down to you guys. So I'm having a little emotional moment. I think nearly dying on the way up has brought out the emotional part of me. How are we finding it?
How's the pace?
How's the pace? Yeah. Mate, I was right behind you in my 300 brake Aston. No, it was very good driving, Joseph. You got traction on today, lad?
Yeah, traction on, but we'll be going off later, so give us a bit of room.
Okay, mate. Well, that's okay. Okay. Yeah. Good work. Thank you, mate. Yeah. Not just yet. Yeah. I'm just trying to earn a living, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. Right then, you lot, that is now that. I'm now back at the villa after a rather fun day of driving. The AMR is there. Just look at it, sat there. I have my GoPro. I'm gonna get editing and I'll see how this video comes out. Hopefully it's been a nice driving based video for once. And I just want to say at this point, I'm really, really impressed by the Aston. I had a feeling it was gonna be a bit of a boat. It was gonna be a bit wallowy. And whilst it's true you can feel the weight transferring a lot more than you can in the Carrera T, and it's a bit more of a handful, as I was saying in the car, tugging away at the wheel. Overall, it was a very, very enjoyable drive, and the car it's met my expectations, to be fair, and actually slightly surpassed them. The brakes didn't cook like I thought they would, and yeah, overall it's very, very good. There's punishing conditions for those cars. We did pull over every now and again and let everything cool down. I like to kind of look after my stuff, so there's no bouncing off the limiter or any of that kind of stuff, but just good old driving. So yeah, all in all, a great day. I think I've had too much sun and too little food and too little water. So at this point, we're back at the villa now. Hold on, come with me. This isn't going to turn into an episode of Cribs like I attempted last year. I did actually film a full villa tour of this place last year. I don't know if you can see that view behind me there. It's absolutely magic. And look at this. This is our villa here.
Hi Tom.
Hi mate.
Hi.
How you doing? Just having a little sit down. How was today? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I didn't see you out there, Tom.
I was out there, Archie.
I ran out of fuel, so I had to go back and get the fuel, and I lost it.
I was putting in some good splits, Archie. Did you see? Okay.
In the Aston.
In the Aston, Archie. Did it sound good?
It did sound good, actually. I'm glad that you really pushed it to its full potential, Tom.
Yeah, I've had a good tug, didn't I? Tugging away at the wheel. You saw me in there. I was all ankles and elbows in there, Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of that. Jay, you okay, mate? You had a good day? Crisps. Thanks very much. I think on that note, from myself and this lovely villa here, up actually in Nice, not in Monaco, as we keep tagging. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And I've got a very, very exciting garage update coming through soon. Yeah, I'll come and join you in a second. I'm just trying to sign out the video. I've got a very, very exciting garage update coming. Something's landing in the garage very soon that none of you will predict. None of you. It's not an i3S because we've done that. That's in the garage. But there's something joining it which none of you are going to expect. So trust me when I say this. Do not miss it. It's probably the best car I've ever had. And it's going to cause more chaos than anything I've ever had. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I honestly, I can't believe it's happening. So stay tuned. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Do subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye.